Hi, how we can manage end-to-end marine and offshore engineering operations in Odoo. It is fully integrated solution with the CRM lead to sales, project execution, manufacturing, procurement, maintenance and costing. Let's start from the lead. We have already created one of the lead. Here you can see there is the offshore engineering installation vessel A requirement is there. When you receive any of the requirement, this is the Odoo default CRM lead form where we added the internal notes and any extra information is there and estimation. This is the important for the sales estimation. The sales team will enter all the estimation over here. Like we have few of the products, marine pump system, stainless steel pipe fittings, installation, testing, logistics, transport, all the estimation is added over lead. Let's create the estimation. When you create the sales estimation will be generated in the system. This estimation you can use internally or you can send it to the customer. Here we have already estimation print available. When you send it to the customer, it will be attached on the email template. We have already options available here. Send by email. You can send it to the CEO or you can send it to the internal staff or customer. Here already attached the report. And now let's go ahead with the next stage, that will be the quotation. Once customer is agree, you can create the quotation directly. Once the estimation is available, where customer can review their estimation, their invoices. They can also accept it or reject it from the portal. Here we have already the estimation. Customer can sign and accept. Here they can accept it and then sign. It will be also saved on the backend. One more thing is that customer portal, they can also review their orders as well. They can also here view the timesheets which is linked with their sales order. Now also we have the invoices. These invoices also they can review, they can pay and download for the documentation. By the button click. When you click on the button, the quotation will be generated. This is all are auto generated. Now here you can see all the products are available, quantity and unit price already assigned here. If you wish, you can also add the event, that is the optional field here. You can also confirm. Once customers agree with the pricing, you can create the sales order directly with the button click. Let's create a sales order. As soon as I create a sales order, my task is generated, project is generated based on my configuration of the product. Here you can see the project is generated already. Now here we have already linked 16 tasks which is related to the engineering process, installation and testing, requirement analysis, site review, technical design, procurement preparation, fabrication and assembly, and delivery and mobilization. So these all are generated based on our settings. Now let's go ahead with the costing. Once we are confirmed the sales, now next stage is execution of the project. How we will execute the project. So from the project you can create the cost sheets. That is also available here. When you click on the cost sheets, you can create a cost sheet for your project. You can create directly from the project or you can create from the job menu, that is the separate menu available on the jobs. Before we go ahead with the cost sheets, let's cover it here. As soon as I confirm the sales order, my project is generated, my task is generated, delivery generated, and now here the manufacturing process is also based on my sales order. One of the product which is marine pump system that needs to be manufactured. So here we can see all the products are added here, and here we have already stock is there. Now we will see here the work order already initialized based on my bill of material. When we go to the product, we already assign the bill of material for this product. Here bill of material is assigned, operations are already assigned here. Now when I click on my sales order, the auto generated my manufacturing order. This manufacturing order will be planned based on your requirement. If it is a 1 unit, it will be start with the 1 unit. Let's plan. Once we plan, we can review it here. All the components are there, work orders are there, and then the other details by products if it is available. You can assign to the responsible person here, and you can go ahead with the manufacturing cycle. Before I go to the manufacturing cycle, let's review it, our cost sheets. Now here I already created job cost sheet, which is contain all the material, labor and overhead to execute the job. Here we have the products which is contained from the manufacturing cycle as well as during the execution of the project. If any material is required, we will enter it over here. We have the labor also, we have the overhead. This overhead also you can enter all the overhead which will be the cost during the execution of the project. Now why we require this job cost sheets? Basically to monitor and control the project cost effectively. It helps to compare the plan versus the actual one. Now here you can see there is the columns are available, actual purchase order quantity as well as the actual vendor bill quantity, and here is your planned quantity. It will also help to track the profitability of the project. Let's go ahead with the execution of the project. We have already job order here. We can go to the job order from here, or we have the separate menu jobs. From there you can access your job order. Now the task will be executed. The person who is responsible, they will be also work on the system. Now they have to enter all the material planning. If any material is required during the execution of the job, they can enter all the material over here, as well as we have here the material requisitions. This material requisition is basically coming from the project, coming from the purchase requisition, or you can say the material requisition, that is the purchase request. Now we have the ending date, assignee. You can assign this task to the responsible person. You can assign the milestone also. This will be the task. Basically it will work on the system as expected as the Odoo default one. Once the task is done, if any task is related to the subcontracting work, then in this case you can also create the subcontractor jobs. Here we have the subcontractor job order where you can create or assign to the subcontractor. Here is the responsible person and we can send it to the subcontractor. We will attach the document and all the details what we require. Now let's create it, the subcontractor job order. When we create the subcontractor job order, it will be generated with all the details over here, and also you can link that with the SolidWorks item. Here we have all the material planning, timesheets and subcontractor details which is linked over here, so you can review it. As well we have the purchase order lines. Here the subcontractor is engaged with any of the services, so we can create here like installation services is provided by the subcontractor. So here we can assign this task to the subcontractor. Let's link the job cost sheets which we already created here, and here we have the services, installation services. So we can add here what kind of the product is required or what kind of the services we are assigned to the subcontractor. So here we have the installation and testing. This we will assign to the subcontractor. So let's add here the 8 hours and then save. These services we will assign to the subcontractor. As well for the subcontractor, if they require any of the material, we can also add here. Like here we will add some of the, we can enter it here. We have the few of the material here, like here the steel, we have the pump housing, implementer, and then the faucet. Okay, let's take here stainless steel pipe. We can enter here. We have also here some of the stainless steel pipes also. They will be also provided stainless steel. So once we entered their services and material on the PO lines, we have directly access here to generate the purchase order. When I click here, create or generate the purchase order, it will be generated automatically as RFQ. You can also add the multiple subcontract in this case, and you can also ask for the pricing from the different subcontractor. Now here we have already confirmed the PO. If they are provided as the best price, we will confirm it. Here we have already unit price is there, so we can also receive the less unit price from the subcontractor. Now here we have also some costing is there, so we will enter it here, and let's confirm the order. In this case, confirmation of the order, we also link our project here. We have the project. Let's confirm the order. But once the purchase order is confirmed, now whenever we receive the services is done or delivered, we can also mark as done on their task, and then we can also assign this to the delivered. Let's go to the PO and then our task. This task is already subcontractor received the email. Once it is approved, it will be the approved. Once they submitted, we can mark as approved and complete it. This is also linked with the some of the stages. You can use that stages, like here we have some installation of vessel, quality and compliance. You can change these stages and you can use this as a done, approved quantity. So this is the flow for the execution of the task. You can create the subcontractor task as well as you can create the internal staff task. Now any of the internal staff or the subcontractor, they require any of the material to execution of the task, they will ask from the request for material. Here we have the requisitions model where we have the purchase requisitions. From the purchase requisitions, they need to be created directly from here. This task must be, if linked with the any of the job order, we can also link here our job order, like here installation and testing. So we can also link here installation and testing. This is also linked with the user and project. Now here we will enter all the requisition lines. The person who require, he will enter all the details here and then confirm and submit it to the department manager. Once the department manager will approve, it will also go to the store manager who is responsible to release the material. The store manager will review it and then they will check if some material is already available. They can make the internal picking, not the purchase order. In this case, no need to be select the vendor. So let's remove the vendor in this case and then select the internal picking. The store manager or purchase department, they have full access. They can enter the vendors also. They can enter the multiple vendor as well as they can enter the one of the agreed vendor. Now here we have one of the internal picking and two is the purchase order. As soon as the purchase department will approve and then create the picking and PO, it will generate it automatically, the internal picking and then the purchase order. Here when I click, internal picking is generated. Let's mark as to do and then you can confirm your picking. Once it is validated, moves is generated. Now let's go to the next stage. We have the PO already confirmed. We have PO. Let's go to the PO. It will generate the multiple RFQ based on the supplier. We will confirm one of the supplier who give us the best price. Like here I have the stainless steel pipes and then we have the frames. Let's enter the amount over here. I will enter here the amount. Here is the amount and let's confirm it. I think I make it more. Let's reduce it. Now once it is reduced, let's go to confirm the order. Whoever is giving us the best price, if this PO is related to the subcontractor, we need to select the subcontractor job here. We can select here the subcontractor job order. Once we did it, we need to be connect with our project, and let's connect with our job cost sheets. Here we have already job cost sheets available. We can also select here our cost sheets and then the cost sheets lines. Here it is related to the stainless steel pipes. Let's enter over here. We have the frames here. We can also enter here, and then we can link to our job cost sheets. Now next, once we confirm, we can also review it, receive the products, and then book the vendor bill for this PO. We'll book the vendor bill, create a bill, and then we can also book here the vendor bill. Let's go to the next stage now. Once we confirm, we can also go ahead with the another one stage, that is the manufacturing cycle. Let's go to the manufacturing cycle. Now let's go to the manufacturing order. Here we have already created the marine pumps manufacturing order. Let's plan, start and finish the production. We will start the production. This will work with the shop floor of the enterprise version also. So this will be nicely working with all the stages. Once it is in progress and done, we can go ahead with the next stage, and this will work with the shop floor also. Here once we done all the manufacturing, then let's go produce all. Once it's done, we have already produced the one of the material. It's done. Let's go ahead with the delivery. We will make the delivery. Let me go to the cells. Once we reach to the cells, we can see here we have already some of the work is done, some of the material is already available. So based on this, we can review it here. We can review here the timesheets. This delivered is coming from the timesheets. What we already assign here 10, but we spent 17. Here we have the engineering and design also. Let's go to the timesheets. When we go to the timesheets menu, the timesheets are filled by the responsible person. Here we have the timesheets menu. The timesheets here we can review it for our project. Pump installation, it is already filled. Job cost sheets also linked here, and now it is coming from here. Let's go and review cost sheets after finish the generate the invoice. Let's deliver first. You will deliver here. Validate what we have already. We delivered the quantity. We will go to the create the invoice in this case, and then we finish the job. Before finish the job, if any of the task which is pending, we can also mark it complete. Let's see here, we have already some of the task is there which is not yet completed. We will mark it complete. Initials, done, done. If you wish to link with the milestone, you can also done with the milestone. One more thing, let's review the job cost sheets, how it will work. We will go to the jobs here, and we created already job cost sheets. Here we have all the costings. We can review it here. See, we plan here one quantity, and then here we make actual purchases 110. So we can review it here. We plan here 5 planned quantity, and we purchase 3 quantity as well. We book the vendor bill, so it is also updated here. Let's go to the labor. We entered here the timesheets. Here is the planned hours, and here is the actual from the timesheets. Let's go to the overhead. For the overhead, we do not have any of the invoices are uploaded here, or any of the purchases. In this case, if any purchase order is generated based on your cost sheet, it will be updated. Let's create quickly for your review one of the purchase order from the purchases for the logistics. We will create here. Let's create it one of the logistic partner. We have already the vendor. Logistic partner bet Ivan will enter here the project what we have already here, and then we will add the logistics and transport. Here we can enter our cost sheets, and then we can also enter here our line which is related to the logistics and transport. For one unit we already mentioned here. Here we will enter 3000 and then confirm. Once we confirm and upload the bill, then it will be updated my cost sheets. Let's come here and review it. We didn't book the vendor bill or confirm it. Let's go to the overhead. You can review it here. Actual purchases is done. Once I confirm the vendor bill, it will be also updated my vendor bill quantity on my cost sheets. Hope you understand fully all the details and all the workflows which is linked here. Now I already covered all the process from CRM lead to estimation, sales order, project, job order processing, job cost sheets, execution of the project, material acquisitions, manufacturing order, delivery and billing, equipment and tracking. That is also one part of our module. Here when we are on the job order, we have for this execution of the task, if any of the equipment is used, we can also track that one on the equipments. Let's go to the equipment and tracking. We have here the separate module for that maintenance. We have the maintenance module where you can enter all the equipments and manage all the maintenance requests. We can create the maintenance request like here we have already. Some keys are not working. We have the maintenance request. Once we make it in progress, if it is repaired, we can add here all the details, instructions and everything is available on the equipment itself. On the equipment we added here the checklist as well as the what we required for maintenance of the equipment. So here we have already the product information is there, and then the description is available and used in location and maintenance team you can assign. So you can use the maintenance and equipment with the marine solution. If you have any query demo, you can connect with us via the WhatsApp or via the email. Thank you very much.